Creating your own playing field means that you are literally creating your own zone instead of playing in the zones of others or trying to fit in the space as a healer. So I'm feeling pulled to dive deeper into this because as I've been talking more about specialization and why it's like the way to scale your business and create longevity in your business, I've been using this term of like creating your own playing field. And I'm going to get into more of what this means in just a second. But hello, Metamorphosis family. I'm so excited to dive in with you today about this because this is major. So what happens a lot of times when people start their business, we go to look and see like what's working for other people. The irony of this is that what I thought was working from the outside, like seeing people sharing their readings and stuff like that, those were not things that actually moved business. And I came to realize that a lot of the people that came up on my page a lot and that I was feeling, drawn to their readings, they weren't necessarily all making money. A lot of them, and especially as I've come to now lead a lot of these people, a lot of them like are working outside jobs and sharing channeled messages as a sense of sharing. And so a lot of times we go and when we start our business without guidance, we see, again, what we think is working, or we just kind of like share and join in with others. And so this makes sense, but this is not creating your own playing field. And so what happens is then we insert ourselves into this stream. And if we're someone who's speaking more generally to an open audience and not attracting a particular client or transformation, then we end up competing with everyone in this space. And there's enough room for everyone, but it's really easy to get lost in the noise. And then there is this also sense of like, if we narrow down, then we're not serving everyone, we're serving less people, blah, blah, blah. And these are all fallacies. Unless you are someone who that's where you feel called to be. I truly believe there are people who feel called to be in those spaces. And that's where their soulmate clients are. But if you're on my page right now and you've been drawn to my videos and you're now reading this, I know you're meant for the specialist path. This is truly the path of highest potential. And so creating your own playing field involves getting so clear on the outcome you're meant. And this is I'm talking intuitive led guidance here. So meaning you're going to be placed intuitively on the path you're meant to. Your spirit guides, your angels, God, etc. will lead you there. And I know you're already getting breadcrumbs. That's the thing, is so many clients that I work with and help them sink in, they've already been meeting people while they're doing their more general readings that are giving them breadcrumbs and where they feel called to serve. So whether or not you even know it, you have these breadcrumbs. And so it's not just landing on that path of where you're meant to lead people. It's getting so clear on what is your magic vehicle? What is your magic transformation that you're meant to lead others on? And when you capitalize on that, that is what's going to scale you, because that is what you're meant to deliver. That's what your soulmate clients are looking for. This taps you into your absolute stream of soulmate clients, and it sets you apart from everyone else in the space. There is no one like you in the space. And even if you already know that, if you're going it, even when you are sharing more generally, if you're someone who even knows your path outcome of where you're meant to lead people, you're still not quite, you're not quite in your own zone, even if you know that you have a lot of unique things to share and different perspectives. This still doesn't differentiate you in a sea of online business. And so this tapping in a specialist and this way of soul-led business, again, will absolutely it's almost connecting. I'm trying to think of what the term is, but it's when you connect almost like telephone, it's like a wire and then you're able to speak to it. This will literally zap you to your soulmate clients and zap them into your space. When I tapped into my specialization of leading people to soulmate clients in a variety of methods, such as my intuitive guidance method, metamorphosis method, and specialization, this literally transported my business from 5K months to 20 to 40K months and growing. So, and this was an overnight, boom, switch, let's go. This is truly a method that creates longevity. It creates less objections. It stands you out. It it creates this playing field because there's no one else like you, and people know that even if they're working with other mentors, for instance, in my experience as someone who helps light workers connect with soulmate clients and make money through that, it's like even if they've worked with other mentors, no one has the magic that you do. So this is for you, whether you feel called towards more business, mentoring, health, relationships, like all the things. There is still no one like you who will get them the results like you. And that's why when people come to your page, they're going to know that you're the one for them. And when you think about it, I also want to bring in this notion of like, again, why specialization is so powerful is because you want to think of it like when you're at a hospital and you're seeing all the different doctors. If you were to like line out all the different doctors and like put their pay grade, you know, the general practitioners, the ones that do have a lot of knowledge for everyone and can help everyone and send them the right way, they don't get paid as well. They get paid well. They deserve to be paid well. They're still so important to the ecosystem. Let's get clear on this here. Just because you feel called to specialization and I'm talking here about this doesn't mean that general practitioners are lesser than. They're still such an important part of the ecosystem. Not everyone feels called to build a 7-figure empire. Let's be clear here. You're feeling called to that because you're feeling called to a particular type of service. And so then you have people who are more specialized, and there's kind of like people in the middle. I think of like the general surgeons who are able to do a lot of different surgeries, usually a lot less intensive. And then I think of people like spine surgeons. My grandpa was actually a spine surgeon, and he was the best paid doctor in the entire hospital. There's also people who are neurosurgeons. That's such a good example because it is just so particular. And in that same breath, there's people who do more like brain surgery. Heart surgery is another one, maybe like a bit down from the spine surgeon. But these specialists are highly, highly paid for their magic. And that's like what you're cultivating here. It's like as you specialize and get clear. And again, I just want to be clear that there's a difference between knowing the path of where you're leading someone. Like, are you leading them towards love? Are you leading them towards a health outcome, nutrition, etc.? You know, like, but that's one thing. But you being a specialist is another. You being a specialist is like honing in on your magic way. And not only that, knowing how to communicate it, knowing how to tell your soulmate clients that this is the magic for them, knowing how to reach them. And this is done in my world through the intuitive guidance method, where you actually tap into your gifts to then connect with your soulmate clients and use it in your strategy and structure. So this is the magic here of, again, creating your own field. When you think about it, a neurosurgeon, they're always going to have a job. Their skills, always highly needed. You know, general practitioners, there may be more competition around that. There's always going to be a space for them because what they have is valuable. But there's only so many people who are so specialized, like a neurosurgeon. And they're always going to be on demand. They are always going to be highly paid for their work. And that's the thing is like even general practitioners, and when we're talking from like a spiritual sense, it's like everyone has the potential to be a specialist in some way. And so you have this within you. You just have to be able to find it. It's like you need to be intuitively led there. And so this is, again, I could shout this from the rooftops. I'm like, why this is so freaking important. I truly think going into 2025 and beyond, especially as so many healers are coming online. Also, okay, we're literally shifting Pluto like right now, I'm pretty sure, like in the next 24 hours into Aquarius. There's no coincidence that I'm feeling so called to talk on this as so many healers come online. It's like as so many healers and lightworkers come online, this is what's going to create space for all of us to absolutely skyrocket and shine. This is truly the way. I'm actually leading a workshop on this on Monday called The Specialist. I'm going to link it in here. It's literally $37, and the info in here is truly what skyrocketed my business and 40x'd it from when I was a generalist. 40x'd it monthly. That's insane. And still growing. So I'm going to link the Specialist workshop below. You're definitely going to want to get in on it. The replays will be available. It's going to be epic, and it's going to give you tangibles on how to implement this in your business and find your specialist path. And not only that, you're going to have time to ask questions around how to implement this, how to reach your soulmate clients, how to then, book your soulmate clients from there. It's going to be fucking epic. So I absolutely loved dropping in on this. I really wanted to get a little more nuanced around this. I can only do so much in about a minute video online. So I've been loving this podcast space to drop in deeper with you all. Love you all.